your cell phone goes off during this, no judgment. All right, so we're safe here. What we're going to be going over today is we're going to be talking about the 3-3. I feel like it's a topic that they get brought up a lot. Some people know a lot about it. Some people are like, how do I just get this off the ground? So what we're going to hopefully do is kind of cater to both sides and to all levels and go over the fundamentals and really what we want to do, because without the fundamentals, it doesn't matter if you're a Pee-wee team or Team USA, it all comes back to that. Okay, then we're going to quickly transition into the sideways 3-3, which I think adds a layer of nuance and a little bit of sophistication, and a lot of defenses haven't necessarily totally caught up to it just yet. And then I thought to put a little bit of personal spin on things for myself and Bill. We can go over some personal feelings, if you will. Don't mind the noise from down there. It's gonna be a lot of like excitement, right? You're doing a lot of like physical skills, right? You guys are gonna be cerebral type, correct? Right? Yes. Right? Maybe B-Mac had some physical skills, but certainly I didn't have any. So it's all about the schematics, figuring out how this game works from an X's and O's perspective, optimizing your spacing, big word there, optimizing, right? And then that way we can be as respectful as possible, okay? So in the way of introductions, we won't go into this too crazy. I'm Ryan Brew, went to Princeton, was a 4-time All-American there, played MLL, NLL for a bit, for about 11 years, and the 3-time member of Team USA. Joining me, Bill McClone.
Bill McClone with the University of Maryland, 3-time All-American, played MLL and MLL for about 8 years. Did well in both.
Team USA?
Team USA, I played Team USA as well.
All right, this right here, this is the Perry Hall Gator 8th grade team, so appreciate them and everybody that's a part of the program. So in order to set up this 3-3, I think the most important thing to understand is that it's not really a 3-3, right? So depending on how you butter your bread, okay, it's a 2-3-1, right? And this top guy, you want to make sure he's in the middle of the field, and depending on age and skill, he should be anywhere from like 15 to 18 yards high. I think at the high school level, you almost want his heels kind of clipping the restraining line. Okay? In terms of these two shooters, it's all else, so don't be distracted. Okay, we want them flat and wide. Okay? Notice we're about 8 yards wide on the goal, and about anywhere from 10 to 12 yards above goal line extended. Okay? Let's start with the ball in the middle here. We want these guys, these bases, right at goal line extended. Right at goal line extended, about 2 to 3 yards wide of the cage. Right? And then this crease guy, we're going to go over him in detail in a minute. In terms of just setting up, we want him anywhere from about 6 to 8 yards above goal line extended right in the middle. So you can see from kind of a cleanliness perspective here, the 3-3 is really a 2-3-1. Okay? From a fundamental perspective. Billy, let's talk a little bit about hands, what you'd like to teach, what you think makes the most sense in terms of hands across the board here.
Yeah, so we're talking about like what hand each player should be in. This bottom lefty needs to be a left-handed player, and unfortunately for the Perry Hall team, we don't really have a natural lefty down here. So even if he's not natural, he has to play left-handed. Because having your stick in the right hand in this spot is just really not effective. You're going to have that stick to the outside for passing pieces and for being a threat to score. So this guy, this bottom lefty, has to be a lefty. This top guy preferably needs to be a lefty. We want a lefty in this spot. Usually have a big, strong midfielder who's got a good outside shot, but he can play right-handed. All right, if he does want to play right-handed, you don't have another lefty in this spot, or just not a guy who's a good personnel for man-up position. Right, he can play right-handed, but he's got to have his rear end pointing to the midline. Okay, he has to be in a shooting and threat position before he catches the ball. He's got to play like this. So he can move it down to that left hand. When he gets it, he can drag back a little bit and open up that pass. most when making decisions. So this guy has got a lot of responsibility and opportunity to make plays in this spot. Okay, if he catches the ball, he can't go right or left. Well, predominantly just stay in a strong hand. Okay, once you pick a hand, stay in your hand. All right, we don't want to switch hands and man up because it just takes too much time. And it's very, very important in man up opportunities to keep that ball moving very quickly and efficiently. Like Ryan was saying, those fundamentals from TV all the way up to Team USA is so crucial. Right? When we start man up, when we start at 3-3 or start another formation, go to 3-3, the first thing I stress is the tough to get it around and get it around quickly and fast to get that defense moving. All right, so you got to keep it fast and efficient. This guy usually not difficult to find a big righty bomber on your team. This is a good spot for a right-handed player who has a good outside shot. He's going to work this area and make smart plays. And again, not hard to find a good righty attacker to play that base spot. Okay, so those are the kind of different positions. Use one different hand. Top guy from either hand. Righty, preferably a lefty. Can also be a righty. Has to be a lefty. Has to be a righty. Crease guy. Unless you got Zach Stern in the team or a Canadian that's really good inside, you probably want a guy who's really good with one hand, or if you can work both sides, a guy who's going to have a good two hands, okay? So make sure that this guy is very active on the crease. This is very important. All right, some guys get in here and they just kind of plant through things, they throw roots, they don't really do much. It's very important for this guy to be very active and kind of work the quarters that Ryan's like to touch on. Go into that.
All right, so now let's look at what our passing lanes look like, right? What are our primary looks, and then what are our secondary looks, aka what are the skip lanes that are available to us. The beauty of this set is that wherever the ball is, you've got an outlet on both sides, your right and your left. You've got outlets. Okay. Additionally, you have the following skip lanes: top middle, below left, and low right, and vice versa, obviously. Okay. You've got shooter, this skip lane right here, okay, and then you've got shooters to bases. High right to low left, high left to low right, okay? If I'm coaching, these I love. Shooter, I don't care for much at all. The only time it ever emerges is if this top player's above them, in which case they'd skip back. This to me is a real easy, I'm above the play, I bang this, I throw my stick back, and I pick that off. So I'm not a big fan of this skip. I don't like it at all, okay? And then these right here, okay, I consider them fool's goals. I'm also not wild about these skips right here, okay? I'm of the ilk that if you're going to throw that, you've got to kind of earn the right to throw that. So if that's going long, I don't know, maybe I trust him, okay? Maybe I trust him, but he's got to earn that right? This is like, you see this pass thrown, and there's a lot of sticks in the way. So if you've got a guy that you constantly do the old no, yes, right? Like after you get to like the fourth time you've done that, maybe you finally just trust him and stop saying no, right?
And if you're going to make this pass in this spot, two type of plays you can make off this is either a shot fake single pass to kind of get people to freeze a little bit. You have a player able to do that. Or I know this is a long pass to make, but if you can do a no look from this far away, that's also effective.
Okay? If there was one over the other, I prefer from low right to the top shooter as opposed to vice versa. Okay? So if we're talking about trying to keep this really tight, really fundamentally sound, and get the basics of it, the only two skips that you really want to encourage are these two lanes to start. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay? Now, in terms of movement, these three guys up top, all right, they're for all intents and purposes trying to find shooting lanes, and what really comes down to are these three guys. Okay? Start here. All right? A little wider, please. All right? When the ball moves to a shoot, anytime the ball's in the middle, this guy has got to find that skip lane. Got to find that skip lane. As soon as a pass is made to that wing, okay, he wants to get wet. All right? That comes with practice. That comes with repetition. Right? If this is the second pass off the whistle, we're obviously not stepping upfield and taking one more unless the defense is totally falling asleep. So we're probably backpedaling. Okay? We're probably backpedaling. That makes sense? Okay? So we go here, we backpedal, we mirror. Let's keep it going around here. Keep it going. Good. Get back up and look. As soon as the ball's back here, well, we need to be right back. Okay? So it's really important. It's really important, that activity, that we're not lazy. We're not asking for a lot here, okay? We're not asking for a lot. When you got in that skip lane, the ball's in the middle, and then when it goes to the shooters, width and either depth or height, okay? Now, arguably, the most important person in all this is counterintuitively, is this crease guy. He's really the trigger of what's going to occur from a skip lane behind him. Okay? It's a really good kind of like language that I like to use that I think makes a lot of sense for players. Is all you gotta do is imagine you're on a train track. Okay? And we want to stay on that train track and follow the ball and be on that ball side rectangle. Okay? So the ball's here, move it anyway. I'm going the left hand here, go ball side, okay? And I'm just tracing behind. I'm staying along this rectangle, okay? And it's always ball side. Okay? Swing back to the right, swing back, swing it, reversing. Okay? Good. 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 Keep it going. Freeze it there, freeze it, okay? So think of a rectangle, and you're just staying on that track, okay? And you're following it, and you're either going to find that dead spot, or you're going to pull somebody from behind you and create a skip lane behind, okay? The other thing to teach here is anytime there's a skip, this needs to be a dive, or an explosion, or a quick cut, whatever language or terminology you use internally. You've got to immediately flash right to that ball. Okay, so if I'm here and he throws this skip, I'm immediately flashing or diving right to that player. Okay? Immediately. So that's a great look, right? You're basically catching the defense in mid-rotation. There's 5 defenders out of 4 balls, 1 short stick. The other reason why this crease guy needs to be as intelligent as anybody else is he's going to identify, are they a 5-man rotation or are they a 4-man rotation? Okay? Typically you can do that, or if you just start like this, is there a guy kind of married to me or hugging me or not? So obviously, right now, there's nobody right on him, not one single player, so they're a 5-man. Pinch here, right? So if he doesn't, just showing this, if he doesn't stretch ball side, okay, he makes it a lot easier on the defense, all right? Whereas if he gets ball side, now he pulls them up with him. Okay, move it there. Good. He's gonna go here, exactly. He generates a reaction, typically from the backside. Keep going. So he dives here. You can already see the skip lane start to emerge. Cross. Right? You got to pinch it. Okay? Get in here. Okay? Freeze it. Okay? Go back. If they go 4-man, actually, if they go 4-man like this, they're either going to go box, right, or they go diamond, in which case this guy just wants to think about picking the rotation, okay? depending on how you want to set things up, right, you can either set a pick there or over here. Okay? So if he starts drifting here to pick this rotation, we go one more, step in, you rotate, we pick here, keep it going, and now no one's on that player. Right? That makes sense to everybody? So that crease guy is really, really critical, right? Sometimes you just gotta dump somebody in there, you're like, oh, okay. In this case, this guy's gotta be arguably as intelligent and cerebral, just in a different way, as your top middle guy. Okay? Go back to that 5-man real quick. Get back to that 5-man. Now, circling back to kind of Billy's point about guys being a strong hand, and where a lot of this came to be, we'll go here, and throw down, in kind of the old way of doing the 3-3, go back, okay? In the old 3-3, to get it to that guy over there, or after we've established a strong side, to get it to the back side, take 1, 2, 3 passes. Whereas now how we've opened things up, we can accomplish that with 1. Where this comes into play is if this guy is on his train track and ball side, which is right here, okay? You're not that side, who's the farthest guy away? No. Yeah, so you gotta help. This puts this guy in a really compromising situation, right? Right now, he's farthest away. He's got a patient supposedly help here. You swing it there, right? Go wall side. And now, okay? Now he's got to get on his horse to recover out to this guy. So this is why a lot of teams don't really care if this is a right-hander or not. Because if they're going to predominantly go back and forth behind the cage, you've got a big right here, a big shooter. This is a prime location for that. Okay? That makes sense? Any questions thus far? Like traditional 3-3? No? Yes, sir. Yeah, good question. So our best shooters are long pole. What do? All right? What do? Great question. Fun stuff, right? I think a long pole, if you've got to be forced there, you're probably looking at 1 or 2 shooter spots, right? Although, like, back in like the mid-90s, like Springfield had Sweeney and Brasco, and both played man up. I don't, if you talk to Kyle Sweeney, he probably played the top middle. But Sweeney, he likes to Any other questions on just traditional 3-3?
Just kidding.
Okay, so as defenses evolved and started to pick up on this, right? All we need to do is just rotate this 90 degrees. Okay? Come up here. Defense put up extensions.
I think you should. Great.
You actually want to slide me So you can see now all we did was basically take this and rotate it 90 degrees. So if we're like keeping the same position, so to speak, this guy is the kind of figurative top middle, right? He's the figurative top middle. These would be the 2 shooters. He would still be the crease, and those would be the 2 low bases. Does that make sense, everybody? There we got this rotation. Okay. This guy right here, we want him a little off center from the middle. Okay? We want him about 3 to 5 yards wide. That same distance, like a 15, depending on age, anywhere from 15 to 18. We've got the key here about 12 or so. Okay? This guy is about 12 yards wide, right? And anywhere from 8 to 10 yards high. Everybody see this? You get all the inherent advantages that you got in 3-3 in terms of outlets on both your left and right. The main difference here, okay, and Billy, I'd love to get you to take a look at the skip lanes. I think these create more optimal skip lanes, whereas the last version had more full scope, right? So just to walk through them, and then I'll turn things over to you. You've got, obviously, you've still got this top middle, right? So your 2 low bases. Okay? Now, your shooter to shooter, this is a great look. This is a great look. Okay? And then you've got your shooter to low base, and your shooter to low base. Hands.
Hands.
Hands, man. What are you doing with hands here?
Real quick, just to kind of go back to the last formation and this formation, one thing that I like to stress, and it drives me nuts when I'm coaching the high school kids, is that they want to get condensed. As soon as you get that ball moving around, they touch the corners, and they start playing, they all just start creeping in 2, 3, 4, 5 yards, and they end up playing defense on themselves. It's very important to stress to them to maintain spacing. The only time you're supposed to step in is if you're going to shoot or you're going to cut. You really shouldn't be cutting in any of these formations. All right, so maintain that spacing, and the only time to step in is when you have room to shoot, because that way you're creating a longer slide, a longer rotation for the defense. Okay, so if you step in and it shortens their slide and it lessens their work. All right, we want to work that defense, so make sure you're maintaining the spacing in that. Hands, again, pretty similar to these should be the same position. So this is still your point guy. He can go either hand, but predominantly staying there's one hand. Pick a hand, probably his right hand, and stick with that hand. Okay, don't really need to switch hands in there. Same thing over here. We want to stay in the right hand. That's still, even though this is technically the righty shooter, is the base position. Okay, so we want that guy to be a right-handed player. This guy could be a lefty or a righty, right? Because if he's getting a feed from this point guy, he can go lefty and step in and be a threat, and then possibly hit that lower guy, or then continue to move it. Okay? Be careful if you do have a lefty here or a righty there, that you're not throwing passes in the passing lanes. Right? So what a lot of us will do, again, going back to that spacing concept, we don't want to creep in, and creep it in here and then throw a pass this way. Right? When we're throwing across our body this way and we're moving forward, that gives the defense a lot more probability of knocking that ball down in the air. Okay, so if we're going to make this pass and I'm left-handed here, I want to back out and drag and make that pass. Okay? Again, don't switch hands, just back out and drag, switch a hand, spend too much time. Okay? Same thing over here. Lefty would be good because he can step in and be a threat to shoot and get a good inventory of the field, make any passes from here. And the same thing, you can also have a right-handed player. Okay, if he's a right-handed player, you want to be in position to catch the ball like this. Rear end to the midline, stick inside here so you can step in, either make a pass, and he's going to make a pass back. He can back out to clear that passing lane. Down here, this is the must have a lefty. Okay? If you don't have a lefty, create one. All right, everyone should be working on their left hands regardless. So this is a perfect opportunity if you do not have a lefty, like we do in this situation. You get the guy who's going to work hard and get better at it, give them opportunity. This is a way on the field. Right? That creates an opportunity for somebody else to get some time on the field. Right? If they're willing to work hard on their opposite hand and put the time in to take over that spot, then that's a great opportunity.
A couple of ways, 2 wrinkles in terms of, well, how do we get into this, and then what can we do out of it, right? The defense, I like it real quick. Let's start that 5-man rotation. We set back from 3-3. Okay? All right, so we have to change this. What's up there? 5-man rotation. Really put that top. All right. I'm about to do this. So, the easiest way to kind of contort yourself would just be a simple drag or carry from one of these high shooters, right? And then everybody just rotates along with it, okay? Everybody rotates along with it. So if we're going to do that, we would obviously designate, okay, whether I'm doing it or Bill's doing it, and then we just drag this. So I drag from my spot, my top shooter spot in a traditional 3-3, I would drag to the 3-3 sideways. He just simply follows, right? He simply follows, and Bill adjusts accordingly. Excellent. Okay? So now you can see simply follow here, follow. So now if we just spin the ball, now we've got them spinning, and if we wanted to, really can immediately drag right back. Follow, 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 follow. Yep. Okay? So that's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to get from a traditional 3-3. If you want to give these guys a little leeway, is just let them pull the defender and then follow accordingly. Okay? Does that make sense, everybody? Yes? Okay, and then once you're in it, this is where I think really a really fun part of it is when we flip the rotation, okay, when we flip from one side, strong one side, to the other side. Okay? You go. So once we're here, we've established this side as the top, if you will, of the 3-3, and all we need to do to reverse that, okay, there's obviously a million different ways to skin the cat, but we would carry from that bottom left. It doesn't matter which way we get there, we spin it behind the cage, okay? Come back here, take my spot. Go back in. Okay, so right there. Okay? He carries up the top middle. This guy rolls out. It builds obviously balance himself up. You cut, and then rotate accordingly. Okay? So we've immediately just flipped in terms of what's the top and what's the bottom. Where this becomes really challenging defensively is twofold. Okay? Number one, if they're a 5-man rotation, you change which side in theory they're stringing from. So at first you were strong over there with 3, so they've got to respect that, and now they've got to adjust accordingly on this carry. That's one. If they go 4-man rotation, right, a very classic tactical response to any 4-man rotation is to vacate the crease and then replace, right? Anytime you vacate and replace the crease, you create confusion for that player because he doesn't no longer knows who he's covering, right? So if he's covering the crease, right, if he's covering the crease and that guy leaves, how long do I stay with that guy before I let him go? And then I've got to find somebody as they come into the crease. So there's that kind of decision-making process that occurs anytime there's a 4-man rotation. So independently of what we just went on, if you're playing against a team that does a 4-man rotation, the classic response is just vacate and replace the crease. All right, guys, we're going to go with nothing. Let's start in the traditional 3-3. Just regular 3-3.
Who's the lefty? Bottom left. You were the bottom left. You're inside.
We're going wide. Play on this 3-3 here. This is like where I have to warn you, I think.
Yeah, you probably see how important fundamentals are here. Be on guard.
No pressure, guys. No pressure.
I know, right? It's a play. So. All right, we'll go. Andy. This is going to be terrible if I blow this, Andy. All right? You notice immediately that the crease guy's standing still, right? So most important part, we're just kind of standing there.
Cut hard. Crease guy cut. You got to move those feet.
Right, so that would be classic. Because he didn't flash there. If he flashed there, he'd been wide open, right?
Yeah.
You can see it here, but he's got to go ball side, quick explosive guts, right? So okay, if you're gonna play it,
Flash shot, crease
right there, right there. Anybody see that skip to the low right? I know, all you guys, this is so frustrating, right? I don't know what I'm talking about that.
Yeah, we're still.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Here, just here. Yeah. Yeah, I'll see you. Oh.
Yeah, alright, yeah.
It's all about, like anything, it's about attention to detail, right? Catching and throwing, attention to detail. Okay, so now what we want to do, is we want to get a carry and we want to rotate. And this is where it's kind of fun to play with personnel, right? You can either drag this, right, and rotate accordingly, or even with a right over here, you can drag, like, and then throw across the side. Okay? Make sense? So we're going to rotate, 3-3, into the sideways, so we are drag guy, okay? You'll be our drag guy. If he drags, rotate, and stay there, okay? Here we go, ready? Oh, sorry. Ready? Good, that's it.
Your communication is important here too. If you're going to drag, you got to let them know that you're dragging. So if you call stick, hey, second stick, righty shoe's going to drag, and you all know when it's going to drag. Right? Communication is important.
Swing it,
And you can use your voice, right? You can say, hey, next stick me, I'm going. Boom, you catch, you start dragging, and then everybody knows to initiate the rotation. Consistently use a few subs that you may import into that. After practice, you can have them just sit the skeleton like this and give them a goal of like 40 catches in 30 seconds. So they have to make 40 touches in 30 seconds. You can't go back to the same player. Okay, you have to run, you have to move. Right? If you want to get them moving their feet more, if they're staying stagnant, part of that drill is you have them move, make those 40 passes in 30 seconds, 60, 70 passes in a minute, and have them, once they pass, they have to move to a new position. So they're it really increases the cerebral capacity and getting their stick skills developed.
Carry on Bill, okay? Rotate on Bill's carry, okay?
Second stick. We
don't have much time, Bill.
Next stick. Stick. I know it. Right away, there we go. Rotate up. Step in.
Shoot it. There.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah.
sir. Any questions?
Do you always have the crease guys stay with the motion of the ball, or do they ever go counter direction?
So, good question. Do you ever go counter direction in terms of crease? I don't teach that in terms of it being instinctual. I always mess up if it's instinctual or instinctive. But I think that's when you can trust your crease guy's instincts. If he sees a gap, so be it. Maybe the defense is doing something unexpected. But in terms of pure fundamentals, you want to keep them ball side, right? Because in essence, what you're doing is the same technique as a man on an all-either where you follow the slide. And if your man slides, you follow the slide. You should always have an extra man, so you should always be following the imaginary slide. Make sense? Any questions on the side?